To start with, we're here on consulate talking about defensive skills. Um, Number one thing that makes a good defender is understanding what attackers like to do, or understanding the meta. And as much as I hate to say that, as much as I hate to say it in a strategy game, people like love to repeat strategies, right? Because they're efficient, because they work. Um, and so this is called the meta. This is the most efficient tactical approach. Um, it could also be applied to the understanding of metagaming, which comes from games like Rust, for example. I don't play it, but I know it from Rust or from DayZ, for example, where you understand something outside of the games. You got some kind of information outside the game, like maybe you studied a pro game. You noticed what they did in that program and you apply it to your own game. That would be an example of meta gaming. Um, um, And so a part of metagaming is simply just understanding your opponent's attack and then trying to, as a defender, think, how can I either prevent this or be ready for this? Um, on basement, for example, a lot of the time, this wall is going to get opened. A lot of the time, they're going to buck the floor above you. A lot of the time, they might push down yellow. There's a lot of things you can do to prevent this kind of stuff. Fuck it, they might even come behind for some reason, right? Um, you as a defender have to A, recognize the possibility, B, recognize what is actually happening. Like, say, for example, you're Maestro and you're on your cams and uh-oh, they're not doing what I thought they were doing. Then you have to recognize how can I stop this? Or how can I prevent this? Or how can I delay this? Or how can um, I stay alive sometimes. Sometimes it's not even worth the risk. Um, and so I'll be talking about that. Um, to start off with, I want to talk about how important the plant is. I have some notes here, and I want to say that the enemy, the attacking, cannot win if you are still alive and the bomb is not down. They cannot win if you are still alive and the bomb is not down. Um, Also, for them to put the bomb down, say it's like 0-0, right? That means they are bending over for 7 seconds, at least in ranked. They can't shoot back. They can not if they get off it, there's a delay. Um, there's nothing the planter can do to keep themselves safe, right? Um, there are, uh, sorry, there's nothing they can do to keep themselves safe, right? And so as a defender, you have to recognize this as your advantage. You have to be ready for them to bend over for 7 seconds, and you have to be ready to deny them from planting. If, if, um, man, I keep trying to say things that I like. I keep trying to make exceptions, but there's nothing else to say. You have to stop them from planting. If they bend over for 7 seconds, they've accepted this disadvantage. You have to run with it. If Because if that plant goes down, they're gonna back up. They have ACOGs, like especially on this site, especially on this site. If this wall is open, they're gonna back the fuck up, and you are not going to defuse that. Why? Because you have to bend over for 7 seconds now. You see how that works? Um, the plant is everything in this game, and if you can stop the plant as a defender, you are winning. Of course, the attack might be smarter than you, and they might recognize that, hey, what maybe we should go above and buck certain spots so that they can't deny the plant. That's part of being a smart attacker. A smart attacker is making the defense as hard to defend as humanly possible, right? They are making this a struggle for the defense, if possible, right? Um, But at the same time, you might have a roamer somewhere upstairs, making it as hard as humanly possible to attack. There's a lot of different things that go into this, but at the end of the day, it comes down to the plant, and you have to stop the plant. Um, And so, um, I'm sorry, I missed a spot. Another part of recognizing this is like safe plant. This is the most common safe plant, and I'll show you some Maestro spots to deny that safe plant. Obviously, it's not that safe. Um, there will never be, um, never mind. But yeah, uh, see, this is somewhat structured, but it's not that structured. This is kind of just chill. I also want to talk about OBJ. So let's just go into it. So why not? So let me show you some things about consulate. I think I got like most of it out. Some more like important things on consulate. I got like the important words out. And if you came here for that, then nice. But I'm gonna show you some consulate specific things. And a couple other tips on defense. So attackers love to open this wall. We know this. And so you get these Maestro spots to deny them and shoot their little footsies. Check it. Like, I think if I go all the way to the car, you should be able to see. It's kind of busted. Yeah, you can shoot under the car and stuff. It's really busted. So that's a concept of how can I deny the safe plant, right? Say they already planted and it's post plant, you could go Maestro and zap their footsies out here. Say they're planting currently, then you can zap them while they're planting. But of course, a smart defender is going to come around and destroy it before you even get the chance. Another thing about, fuck it, we'll go into anchoring. Anchoring, especially on this objective, is really important. But it's easily countered. Places like this spot are really powerful. If you have control over behind you, oh my gosh. If you have control over behind you, right, and you still have this spot, then you can really easily kill the people who are trying to run in, right? But an attacker is going to go above and they're going to deny that. Here, let me show you. This spot right here, if you buck right here, you can see the pipes. See? Another good bucking spot is like right here. You can see behind the smoke spot. You can see behind the plant. From this hole, you can also see behind this box. There's a lot of like good places to buck. In fact, actually, if you go out on this window and you repel, you can deny the bandits from bucking that. So you can see why this is a part of the meta. So on site, you're thinking, okay, if they're not going to counter this really good spot, why don't I just play it? Like, say they're really dumb and they don't open this shit, right? So then just play it. You know, just stay alive and kill them as they come in. Maybe you could play right here and, you know, snipe some people with an SMG-11, who knows? Maybe you could play back here. And then, like, I really like to put a Mira here. Kinda overpowered. I saw it in a Pengu video. Because I watched too many videos on this game. And he'll put, like, a Mira here, and he'll go, you know? Or he'll, put one. Or at least I'll put one here. I'll just spray the people coming down yellow, and I'll worry about behind. There's a lot of things that come into anchoring here. And any objective, of course. Where you just have to recognize where you can be, where you can rotate. Like, say if this is open, you are not going to rotate out of this. Good luck, right? And if you do, then holy shit, you know? And anchors should, and let me look at my notes, they should, stay alive and deny plant. It's really that simple. Deny anyone from walking into objective. Deny anyone from opening holes that make it easier to get into objective, i.e. this. That's why you bandit trick. And again, risk versus reward. Don't die for this, right? Um, how was I gonna say? Um, it's just deny control over site, deny plant, deny everything you can that makes it easy for the attackers to attack. Um, I guess that's all I have to say about roaming. Man, it's a lot easier when it's structured, huh? Then let's talk about roaming. It's really hard to roam here, so we're just gonna go to the next objective. Um, Roaming is very um, well understood when you understand map control. Let me read my notes just word for word right now. Hold on. Can I pause this? No. And this is whatever. There are certain locations that provide great advantage to the attacking team. This is especially true in the case of vertical play. Smart attackers will work together in order to acquire advantageous map control. This is called a take. It should be noted that roamers are at a massive disadvantage when a take is being performed. If you remember watching my Oregon video, I showed places like, say I stand on top of this, I showed how small tower is really hard to hold because there's multiple windows and no cover. Admin's kind of different because there's a lot of cover, but there are still multiple windows. So roamers love to just sit here and deny this control. And now why roamers deny this room is very simple. It's for this hole in the wall right here. If attackers get control over this, they control this rotate. Then, if attackers get control through here, and sometimes it's a battle to get through here, right? Especially if this wall isn't open. Then they're trying to work their way into here, right? And now it's just a mess, right? They got 8 cogs and they're peeking your only rotate, and you can't come upstairs. You have to come from yellow. It's a full frontal assault, and that's why roamers love to deny that. Roaming is a good way to build game sense. When you're playing in your games, think, okay, I'm gonna play this roamer, right? I'm gonna use his utility. Like, say you use Jaeger and you put all your shit on site, whatever. Then you go off and you try to deny map control. Did they even go there? Think, why would they want to go there? For example, why would they want to go admin? They would want to go admin so they can launch their assault through here and through there, right? Don't let them do it. However, again, there's a part of it that's like, don't die for this, right? Sometimes it's more important to deny the room than it is to stay alive. Sometimes it's the other way around. Like, say there's a minute left, I'd say just run the site, right? Because they still have to bend over. But at the same time, if there's like 3 minutes on the clock still, or 2.5 or 2, it might be worth it to just slow them down a little bit, because the less and less time the attack has, the more and more aggressive they're going to have to be. If they don't, like, say, let's go downstairs again. If they don't open that wall, and this applies to any bomb site, if they don't open the wall, or they don't open the angles that really support them, or they don't clear sight from above, or they don't drone anything, they have to walk through your doorways. And this is very well shown by this. If this hatch isn't reinforced, most teams won't even bother. But if this hatch is open, then you can clear all the space in this site, right? You can clear here, you can clear behind this, you can clear behind that. I don't think you can clear here, so you'd want to drone it. But the idea is that if this hatch is reinforced, what happens if someone's watching your doorway? You want to open as many angles as possible to deny any anchors from just camping, right? If an anchor is just camping, you're walking into his crosshair. That is a massive disadvantage. As an attacker, you're thinking, I want to open as many spots on site, right, that make it easier to walk into site, right? And so a roamer is thinking, okay, I'm going to make it as hard as possible for you to do this. A roamer, it's very hard to roam up here specifically, but there are some places in the game where vertical play is just as important, and roamers can very easily defend it. It reminds me of Border, for example. Border, when you're down in ventilation, some teams will just throw the entire team upstairs, right? Um, and so a lot of roaming is just understanding, denying map control, denying advantage from the attackers, and staying alive, which is the most important thing on defense. Because if you're alive, they can't plant. Um, or sometimes they can't plant, but you know how it is. There's always a some or a but, or a sometimes or a but. Um, so yeah, I feel like that's a very good, like,
15 seconds.
overall kind of general explanation of what I understand of defense. I'll link a
10
bunch of
seconds to go.
videos in my description that show defense a little bit better than the way I
5 seconds
explained
to
it.
go.
Maybe some more specific stuff. But when you're defending, just remember that
Expired.
the attack wants to pick apart your defense, and they need to bend over. They need to bend over. And when they bend over, you butt fuck them. That's the way I see it. Um, have a good one. Hopefully this helped. Again, I'll link those videos. Watch those too. And please subscribe to the people I link. They're awesome. And have a good one.